Welcome back for another video. On today's episode, we're going to be working on the VT Clubsport. I'm pretty sure this is the third episode on this car. And I've decided we're going to just smash this car out, get the rust work done, get the thing painted and back on the road. Main reason being, I've picked up another car, which I'm really keen to make a start on, but I don't want to have two cars on the go at the same time. So that's a good push just to get this thing done and get it back on the road. But basically just doing rust work at the moment. So I've remade this whole section in here because it was all rusty. Double skin, looks a bit ugly at the moment. But I'm in the process of just grinding all the weld down. But yeah, it was quite rusty and bad. Just completely eaten away the panel. So that sort of put a bit of a hold on the build. Everything was in primer and I was prepping everything for paint, and then I took the guards off because I could see a little bit of rust and it was just all eaten away behind them. Same on both sides. So in this video, I'm going to be fixing the rust on the driver's side. There's also a bit of rust in the underside of the boot, so I'll be doing that as well. And then we might even maybe get into a little bit of paint. We'll just see how long it takes and see where we get to with it. But I'm really keen to get into this car and just get it painted, get it back on the road. It's been off the road for like 2 years, which is way too long. So I'll get it out and we'll get into it. So these are the bits that I cut out of the passenger side that were all rusty and eaten away. And I've put new bits in. It's just 1 mil steel sheet. I've still got to grind all the welds down. And I've done, 2 patches in the rear of the boot. So same thing, I've still got to grind the welds down, but I got those bits done. So I've got to just tackle the underside of the boot floor, and I've also got to tackle the driver's side here where it's eaten away and also eaten away in there. And I dare say that this rust will be sort of up around there. So I've got to cut that all out, make up rust repair sections, weld it all in, weld up the underside of the boot, and then that's the rust work done, which is awesome. But I'll show you down here, it's pretty nasty. So I'm thinking I might have to drop the fuel tank out, because obviously you can see the mounting brackets is there where it's pretty rusty. And the reason it's rusted away is this piece here is sitting on top of what's rusted away, so it's a bit of a double skin. Obviously water's got in there somehow and just eaten it all away. Is easy enough to fix, but obviously it's a big area and it's under the car and it's just a headache. So that's why I've been starting with the easier bits. And I thought I'll get all of them finished off. I'll leave the hardest bit till last. And then once that's done, we can get on with the paint. Paint's the easy bit. I've got all brand new panels, like new doors. I've got the original bonnet and boot. Because the doors on this car were really rusty as well. So instead of trying to fix any of that, I just bought another donor car, which is in a previous episode. Bought a donor car, pinched all the doors off of it. And then, they basically just need paint. There's no real repairs on them. So let's get into the driver's side. We'll start there and then we'll just see how far we get. Hopefully we can get all the rust work done in this video, and maybe even start some of the paint. We'll see how we go. All right, so we've got the rusty bit all cut out, and I traced it and cut out a replacement piece. Now this isn't going to be perfect yet because all I've done is just put that over the top and trace it. So when I go to put this in, it's probably going to need some fine tuning, dial up a few edges. I cleaned up all in here. That's got a bit of weld through primer on top. So obviously once this bit's ready, I'll grind off that primer where we need to weld it, but like underneath will be all sealed. So that is much better than what we've taken out. I couldn't find my spot weld drill bits, so I just had to grind them out. They look a bit messy, but I will be, like I did on the other side, welding one whole edge and then putting a few spot welds through. I'll show you on the other side. That's the bit I've done on the other side, and I'm just gonna have to put probably 4 spot welds down that edge because that edge isn't welded, but this edge is. So I'm happy with that. It wasn't as bad this side as I was thinking it might be. All of this actually cleaned up really well underneath. There was no other holes. So once this is in and all grinded down and everything, I'll tackle this inside bit, and then that'll be this corner done. Alright, I've got these front sections all finished. Just in a bit of spot primer with the bare metal. So yeah, both sides are ready for primer and paint now, which is cool. Did a little bit of work off camera on the driver's side, just fixing up that lower corner. So that's all done. And I've started on the boot floor. So I've cut out the really rusty panel, which is this one, which is just crazy that it's that rusty. But yeah, I think from memory with this car, the water was actually leaking in the spoiler holes in the boot and then sitting in the spare wheel well. And then obviously, because it's double skin, it's just leaked through in areas and has made that happen. So I've got a piece of sheet here, which I'm in the process of trimming to size to fit in here, and then I'll weld that all in. And oh yeah, I've got, so like these 2 bolts here, they're for the fuel tank straps, so I'm gonna have to put them back in. These 2 are for a tow bar, so I'm probably not gonna worry about that at the moment because I'm not gonna be putting a tow bar on it. Clubbies probably shouldn't have tow bars anyway. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna keep trimming this up and try and get that in today. That's my plan. Alright, we've got the first bit of metal welded in, and I'll just show you. There's actually a second piece that we're going to be putting in as well, which I've cut to size and folded. So this is the original bit that we've cut out, and this panel here is the one that we've already welded in. But as you can see, there's actually two bits of metal, and this one is just a support basically. So it just goes from over this side, and then it goes over the top in a straight line, and it meets up with this. So it's a bit of like a U shape, and it just gives that a lot of strength. So if I sit that in there, I've still got to obviously tidy up a few edges and clean up a few bits, but that's sort of the idea. And I've left a bit of a gap so that I can weld that piece, this piece, and the one underneath, and I'll just get like a really good weld in there. Probably weld down the sides, and then I might even just do a couple plug welds in the middle just to really hold it in position. And I'll clean up this whole area, weld this to that, and then we're done. But that is sort of what we're dealing with. Yeah, I just can't believe like how rusty this panel was. Like, it's like, especially for a VT, like this is only in 1997. It's not really that old. That's the sort of rust that you find on like Kingswoods and stuff. So definitely a good thing that we replaced it. Yeah, definitely worth doing. All right, we've got that all welded in. Still got to grind some welds down. And I've just got one more patch to do here. So I couldn't see that it was rusty on the back while the fuel tank was in there. But once that was taken out, you can just see the inside was a bit rusty. And I figured while it was easy to get to, I've just made up another patch. So that sort of goes on there. I've got to just trim up a few edges, get it sitting in there really nice. And then yeah, weld that in, and then once that's done, and I've done like a little bit of filler work, ground the welds down and painted in there, that's all the rust work done, and we'll be able to just get on to doing the outside. So I feel like we've made some really good progress. Like that rear section was so nasty, and it's just so good to finally have it all cut out and replaced. So I'll get into welding this, grind all the welds down, and then get into a little bit of paint and try to just get all this rear section finished off. All right, today is a big day for the Clubsport build. We are getting some paint on it finally. As you would have seen, we obviously did all the rust sections. I've put seam sealer, sealed it off in primer, prepped up all this rear section for a bit of paint. The inside's ready to go, so I've done primer, seam sealer. Just gonna mask off around the stone guard off this edge and just paint all in there. Paint all the back and then obviously up underneath. So the idea is, once it's all masked up, I'm gonna get like a sound deadener, spray that all on the inside and across the bottom lower bit, and then put the red straight over the top. That way, like, because once the bar's on and lights are in, I know you're not going to see any of that, but at least it's peace of mind, it's all sealed. And if I put this sound deadener on it, it's going to help water not get in there, and it's just going to keep it sealed and hopefully prevent this from happening again. After that, all we've got left to do is just prime the roof and the pillar on the other side, and then that's the whole car in primer, and it's up to just the paint. So I'm super keen. Let's get into it. Well, it was a bit of a mission, but we are all masked up, ready to spray. I've also cut out on both sides these front sections, so I'm going to paint them at the same time, and then that way the front guards can go back on and stay on. And I am just mixing up the sound deadener at the moment. I always take it out of the container and mix it, just because you run into issues otherwise. So I'll chuck the hardener in, and then we're going to start spraying. Well, what a mission. It's all done. Really happy with how it's come up. So I'm just gonna leave it in here to dry for the rest of the day. I'm super happy with this finish of the sound deadener. It makes it look so factory. Just makes it look like we never did anything. We're never in there, which is what you want. And yeah, same on these front bits. I'm really happy with that sort of finish. Well, yeah, I'll leave this probably for a few hours, then I'll get it unmasked. And then, yeah, have a look, see what to do next. I think I've still got to get the roofing pillar and primer, or I can prep up all the door jambs, prep the inner of the new doors, get them all painted, get them back on. Yeah, I don't know, but it feels good just to at least have this step done. It's been a long time in the making. All right, how good is that? We are all in primer. Rustwork's finished. This car is at a stage, which is awesome, and it's at the paint stage, which is where it should have been a long time ago. So, obviously, Rustwork's finished, boots painted, engine bay's been done in the previous video, the whole car's in primer. The next step is to paint the inner jambs, paint the inner doors, get the doors back on, and then take the bars off, take the spoiler off, and paint the whole shell, which is going to be in the next episode. So my plan is I've got a couple customer cars in this week, which I'm just doing a few bits and pieces to. So just going to let this primer cure for a week or two. And then I've got 3 weeks over the Christmas break. And at the moment, I think it's the 9th of December. So I'm going to dedicate 3 weeks to this car to get it painted, get it back on the road, and we'll be able to go into next year having a car finished, taking it to car things, doing whatever. So I'm very keen. I'm going to give you guys a pretty detailed few videos on this car through the paint stage and show you guys sort of how to get a car from this level or this stage through to a nice looking paint job. I'll show you guys, the procedures I use, techniques and things like that. So yeah, if you've got 3 weeks on the car, I'd say we've probably got another 2 to 3 videos between now and then. Obviously the next one, I'd like to just try and get the shell painted. Maybe the one after that, do all the bumper bars, and then the final video is like the final fit up, blackouts, badging, suspension. I've got a few ideas for this car, so yeah, anyway, I'll see you there.